Morning, everybody. How are we all doing? Can't be doing as bad as we were yesterday. Anybody have fun yesterday? Yeah, me neither. Anyway, it's Tuesday. We can look ahead with some sort of... we could just look ahead to the game against Newcastle tomorrow. Sod knows what to expect. I know what we all fear. But we'll speak about that in a little bit of detail later in the show. I'm going to be focusing on an in-depth article from The Independent this morning around Jim Ratcliffe and INEOS's plans when the expected takeover goes ahead. I'm going to run through Ten Hag having reduced powers at Manchester United, which is absolutely going to be a good thing, 100% a good thing. It should have been what the structure was at Manchester United when he came in, but it is better late than never, I suppose. We'll run through that. We'll speak about the takeover, what's the latest and what's being said there. And also later in the show, I'll give you a little teaser for this now. I want to do this with you guys and girls as a community today. I'm going to do an interactive tier list, and we're going to rank all of Manchester United's signings, because I'm doing this as my video at lunchtime today. And I'm going to be really interested to compare the community tier list and where you all rank the players compared to where I rank our signings so far. So, yeah, it should be an interactive show. You should enjoy it. Well, sometimes. But certainly, as I said, you'll enjoy it a little bit more than yesterday. That was let's not speak about that. Who's down here for the member gang? Let's have a look. Richard, good morning to you. Mania, good morning to you. We've got Robert Taylor, Linton, alive. That's nice. It's good you're alive. Teclon John, not Teflon John. It's not Teflon. Chris, Anthony, Said, Wayne, Flash, Fire, Fletch. She's got to say that really slowly. Amy, good morning to you. Who's on Facebook? Jonathan Rose, Edred Jones, Stephen Lawrence, Lisa Jensen, Mida Clay. Good morning to all of you. Thank you all for tuning in. Josh, I can see you there as well. Yeah, yesterday was... I did not want to do this show yesterday. I was thinking, like, win, lose, or draw. Say at the start of the podcast. Apart from the fact the podcast hasn't been here for a little while. It's just we've been really busy. Sorry about anybody who listens to the podcast. We tried to get an episode recorded last night. It just didn't quite work out. So we're going to have to do the next podcast on Thursday. So that'll be 3 games worth of games covered in one podcast. The City game, of course, the Copenhagen game, and the Newcastle game. So we're going to do all of that in one podcast. It's just been a bit busy. Now, yesterday, my lunchtime video was based around Ten Hag's comments about the fact that he doesn't think Manchester United will ever play like Ajax. Now, I was surprised for him. That's why I titled the video. I can't believe that Ten Hag has said this, because it surprised me. And I ran through and I explained my reasonings behind it. We spoke about it in yesterday's live show. And if you haven't watched it, go and watch it if you want. It's 10 minutes of your time. Now that I've had more time to think about it, it kind of makes me think, you know what I need to do? I need to do some more research into... Because I can speak quite confidently about Ten Hag's time at Ajax. You know, when he arrived at the club, what happened in his formative season, what happened in the season after, and then obviously the Champions League, and then how it switched when he signed Haller and the systems that he used. And I can speak about all of that from an Ajax perspective. But then I was speaking to a few people yesterday that, if you look at what he did at Ajax, if you look at what he did at Utrecht as well, maybe there's patterns there that I haven't quite spotted with Ten Hag and how he approaches his philosophies. So I think I'm going to be doing some more in-depth research into Ten Hag's time at Utrecht, maybe a little bit more about his time at Ajax as well, and the tactical flexibilities that maybe he has. And it's something that a lot of people have been saying to me, is that Ten Hag has always been a manager who's more about the players rather than the system itself. And that sort of adaptability was always considered one of his strengths from a tactical point of view. And maybe I've just been expecting the wrong things. I don't know. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to cover that in another video that I'm going to do. Yeah, I want to learn more about this, because I really expected Manchester United to be heading in the Ajax direction, but maybe that was the wrong sort of concept in my head. I don't think it was. Anyway, I think it's worth doing. Alive, I can see you down there, man. Thank you so much. Oh, I can't ever say enough thank yous for everybody. Gifting 5 memberships, and you're always the reason that this community just keeps... Can you imagine how good it's going to be here when United are not crap? I always think that. I always think, like, I mean, we've had the therapy room open about, I mean, God knows how many times over the last 18 months, 2 years or so. Like, It's going to be an incredible community. It already is an incredible community, but once we've actually start competing, and it is a case of when and not if. All right, Man United will be back up there. David, you're down this, and it'll be a long wait. Well, it already has been a long wait, but when it happens, this is going to be the place to be. It already is the place to be, but sod knows when it's going to happen. I think that the thing that's got United fans most about this season, while the frustration really is sort of boiling over, I suppose, is because we all went into this season like I genuinely predicted United to finish second in the league, and I didn't do that just for clicks and engagement. I genuinely thought we finished third last year. We've signed players to improve and strengthen. I genuinely thought there was hope of us finishing above. Well, obviously, that's not the case anymore. But we all went into this season with genuine optimism. So to be in this position come October is, yeah, that's what's frustrated a lot of people. But let's speak about, and maybe it was just me with my naive optimism, but I always like to look forward. And I always like to look ahead. And yeah, clearly, I was wrong. But let's speak about Ratcliffe, and let's speak about Ten Hag. Just to add to the frustrations, and again, this is a massive part. I would probably say the biggest contributor. Is it? Type it in the comments. What do you think is? That's a stupid. I think I know the answer before saying that, but I'm not going to ask you anyway. What do you think is the biggest contributor to the frustrations of United fans this season? Is it the takeover and everything that's gone on with that, or is it the football you're seeing on the pitch? I think I know the answer to that before saying that. I think at its core, for me, it's the takeover, and how I know that is holding everything back and has been holding everything back. But at the same time, you're looking at the performances right now, and it's like that's the thing that you sort of that's the thing you look forward to every week. You don't sit there and wait for updates on a takeover. You sit there waiting to watch Manchester United play decent football. Paul, you're saying both. Matt, you're saying lack of direction on the pitch. Weezy, you're saying identity as a club. Technically, you're saying takeover. I think it's about, of course, it's both, right? Everything is contributing to the frustration of United fans. And when it comes to the football itself, yeah, there's not. I think that's probably the thing I'm most deeply concerned about. Is I'm looking at Man United right now, and I don't think. Is there anything or anyone? I'm not digging out here. I'm genuinely curious as to know what you'll say. Is there anything or any player or just any part of this United team right now that you'd be like, yeah, I think that looks good, but this and this needs to be changed? You could speak about Højlund. I would probably say Højlund's overall performances, but at the same time, he's not scored in the Premier League yet. Jonesy, you're saying Onana looking good. Dude, everybody was trying to slay him beyond belief until he saved a penalty against Copenhagen. So, yeah, I'll be completely honest. His performances so far this season just haven't been up to the levels that he set. Look, Onana, I think I said it to you. I maintained it, and I will continue to maintain it. I said that Andre Onana is in the top 10 goalkeepers in the world, and Andre Onana last night was ranked 6th in the world. Although, why was Alisson not in the top 10? That was a bit weird. I don't understand that. But Onana finishing 6th in the Ballon d'Or rankings. Yeah, he's a positive in these last couple of games, but not that many. Let me have a look down there. Højlund's been a 5 out of 10. That's a little bit harsh, I think. But at the same time, our striker hasn't scored a goal in the Premier League, and that's how strikers are measured, right? Rashford's been playing half-hearted. The captaincy being taken off Maguire's been good. He's playing better. Yeah, you know, Harry Maguire holding on to his record. Oh yeah, Man United have won 16 out of the last 17 that I've played. Yeah, and then we lost against City. And if you look at those 16, the 16 that we've won, yeah. No. You know what I think about Maguire, man. For me, it doesn't matter what happens with Maguire this season. My opinion is not changing. Harry Maguire needs to be sold. as soon as possible. And Manchester United need to sign an athletic, profiled centre-back who will suit this system. You can say, what system? I know what system. In my head, I know what system Erik Ten Hag is aiming towards, but I'm not actually sure. I'm not actually sure anymore. Odie, we need players back. Yeah, we do need players back. And there's no doubt that Martinez and Shaw's absence is causing huge problems at this club. Huge problems in how you play out from the back defines everything in terms of how the entire team plays. Because if you can't play out from the back, the only thing you can rely on is quick, direct football. Because the ability to control, to build up, to create opportunities through sustained patterns and sustained pressure, it's kind of not possible. It's kind of the situation we find ourselves in. Jordan, you're saying that it's definitely the direction we're going in. We don't know. That's what's frustrating you the most. But look, all right, let's speak about this. Let's speak about INEOS, Ten Hag, and how things are going to change, but I'll be honest, going to change for the better. I think I said this before and I'll say it again. It was me going on about Man United needing to sign a defensive midfielder before. And probably for just as long, if not longer, right? Look at this. This made me laugh and cry at the same time. This was a thumbnail that I made in March 2022. As I said, kind of makes you a little bit sad. But I was looking at that and I was thinking, Erik Ten Hag coming in as Manchester United's manager, working with Ralph Rangnick in like a director sort of point of view, with Paul Mitchell behind him as a sort of sporting director point of view. As I said, that thumbnail there it's over 18 months old now. And here we are. Here we are 18 months down the line having the same conversation. All right. Anybody who followed the channel down here for a while, you know full well how excited I was when Rangnick came in. So I thought, my God, our club has actually decided to bring in a voice of experience who understands how to modernize a club. Now, of course, he was never brought in. And this is the thing that I will never understand about Rangnick, is how on earth he was brought in as an interim manager when he had not managed a club for like 2 years and then was never given the opportunity to actually do what he was good at. Because at that point, Ten Hag came in and was like, nah, I don't want to work with him. Because Ten Hag was given too much power. Because the power structure at Manchester United, simply put, was just not fit for purpose. And that is the big thing that, look, you can... I'm not going to get into this debate again this morning, because no doubt we're going to have it again as a community, and I've had it about 100 times already, about the Ratcliffe takeover, about whether it's going to actually instigate any real change at Manchester United, about whether or not the Glazers are still going to be in control. I suppose we'll find out in the goodness of time. But the one thing that I think we can say with real confidence is that the power structure at Manchester United, from a footballing perspective, should absolutely be changing. Now, I'm going to run through this article from The Independent, which offers a little bit of detail into this. They're saying that Jim Ratcliffe will not be sacking Erik Ten Hag, but he is going to lose his transfer powers. Let's read through this. Jim Ratcliffe's faith in Ten Hag remains unshaken by United's recent dip in fortunes, but he is likely to have his responsibilities reduced. A deep audit of the club's football operation is in the pipeline, which we already know, when his investment is finally confirmed. And this will include putting player recruitment in the hands of experts, leaving Ten Hag to coach. And just that sentence there. I wish that this was the truth, that this was the setup of Manchester United when he came in. All right. It's absolutely not a coincidence that Ten Hag was considered a tactical mastermind and a tactical genius at Ajax. Because until the Ajax structure exploded, obviously what happened with Mark Overmars and he was sacked, and then Ten Hag left, and then Mitchell van der Gag left, and then Van der Sar struggled and the replacements were bad, and then Van der Sar went through his own health issues, and Ajax right now are bottom of the Eredivisie. All right, any Ajax fans watching, I don't take any pleasure in that at all. I've always had a soft spot for Ajax, always have. But they've gone from this a few years ago, when the structure and the right people were in power and in place and working together in unison, to being bottom of the Eredivisie, all within the space of a couple of years. And it goes to show you the importance of a power structure, the importance of the right people in that power structure. Now, you know full well that I think Paul Mitchell is ideal in this sense. Absolutely ideal. And what is saying there, the deep audit of the club's football operations in the pipeline. That's basically, you can call it whatever you want. It's like I've spoken to Ben Jacobs about this a few times, like the 100-day plan. That's when Jim Ratcliffe will eventually get the keys. He'll then, I don't know how long it will take, whether 100 days from now, what's that? November, that's the end of Jan. That's the end of the transfer window. So time is against us. So the concept of us doing a 100-day audit and then being ready for the January transfer window is impossible. It's going to have to be shorter. It's going to have to be snappier and quicker. But this is what Ten Hag is missing. There are a lot of questions now that are being asked about Ten Hag's ability as a coach, right? And I think some of the questions are fair. Some of the criticisms are absolutely fair. I wasn't surprised that he flipped to a pragmatic approach, as I said, against Brentford, Copenhagen, and Sheffield United. I thought, like, given what was happening at the time, I thought it made sense for United to switch, maybe go to a double pivot midfield. We're not scoring much. And look, we got 3 victories. Kind of by hook or by crook, but we got 3 victories. I was surprised to see him kind of be equally as, I mean, you might say it wasn't equally as pragmatic, because McTominay started and Amrabat kind of started as a sole number 6. It was kind of like a midfield diamond. It wasn't really a double pivot. He's made some really questionable decisions in these last 4 or 5 games, where I think people have really started to fairly question him. But I still really feel, and this of course is a big if, all right? But if the structure exists at Manchester United where Ten Hag could solely just pop his tracksuit on and stay on the training ground, go into his office, go to the training ground, go back into his office, go home, and repeat. That's his pattern as a manager at Manchester United. I think he will be able to do what he wants to do at the club. Because from a transfer, it's just not possible, right? If you want to become, I don't know, it's a random analogy that's come up in my head. If you want to become the best drummer in the world and you want to become the best guitarist in the world, and you're just starting out on both, unless you're some sort of genius and your name's Dave Grohl, you're not going to be able to do both. You're going to have to choose what your specialty is, all right? And focus your time on that. And if you're looking at Ten Hag at Manchester United, it's a club of the magnitude that makes Ajax look like a Cheerio left in the bottom of the bowl. No offense to Ajax. But Man United is on a completely different level altogether. So the day-to-day running, it's incomprehensible for an individual. Now, Mitchell van der Gag is probably doing, well, not probably, he does do a lot of the tracksuit work, because Ten Hag doesn't have the time to do other things. And it's so frustrating, man. And I hope that this isn't false hope, right? This idea that Ratcliffe's going to be coming in, Paul Mitchell coming in as a sporting director. Like, please do not make this like a false dawn and a little bit of false hope. I don't think it is, because you're not going to spend billions and just leave a clearly failing structure in place. INEOS will not do that, because the Glazers have operated Manchester United as a business, and a business only really, since they took over. You remember Woodward famously said, results on the pitch don't impact our ability commercially. And it was a blind, it was a complete and utter lie. I don't even know if it was a lie, though. I think that's just genuinely what he thought. And that was the person who was in control of our transfers. That person there that thought that the sporting side of Manchester United wouldn't ever impact the commercial side of things. Now, you might say, oh, but look, Man United got record revenues. Yeah, Man United also lost money this year. Record revenues, and we lost money. Tells you everything you need to do about the business side. But Ten Hag, just purely being a coach at United, if we could, look, we are in, I don't even know what's going to happen between now and the January transfer window. By the time the January transfer window comes around, we could be just, I don't know, RC, Champions League, we might be out of the Champions League. League Cup, let's find out what goes on there. We might be out the League Cup. The top four, we might be, I have no idea how many points we'll be off top four. I don't know what the table is right now, actually. Let's have a look. Oh, we're 9 points behind. We're 9 points behind City now? Pretty sure we are. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's the table right now. Let's have a look. Let's pull this up. So that's the table as it stands. Man United there, 15. We are 8 points off top four already. Where do you think we'll be come January? Because come January, if we do have Paul Mitchell in place, if we do have an actual genuine structure in place, and we've started to, it's unrealistic to think that the transfers will be perfect in January, but we could and should be able to make a pretty decent difference. I think in January, I think you've got to be looking at Jadon Sancho going somewhere else. Definitely. You've got to be looking at getting one centre back in. Definitely. And I don't know if we'll be able to do too much more than that. I'll see what you're saying down here. Dan, you're saying top four, have faith. Something will click. While I agree with that, and look, I'm the eternal optimist. Look at those top four teams: Spurs, Arsenal, City, and Liverpool. Right? You've seen what Spurs have been doing this season. They are flying. Arsenal, they're continuing what they did last season. City, they lost 2 games in a row. They're fine. And Liverpool have surprised everybody. I did not expect Liverpool to look as good as they did. The midfield signings looked kind of a bit weird, but it seems to be working for them. No doubt that they're going to be getting injuries, all right? They've had some injuries so far. City don't have De Bruyne. Jonathan, why are you such an eternal optimist? I don't know. It's just my perspective on life. If you want, some people fight. Oh yeah, I'm just a realist. Yeah, all right, cool, man. Yeah, fantastic. If you want to be in that point of view, that's completely up to you. But I like to have hope that gets ruined and crushed. That is life. But yeah, you've got Spurs, Arsenal, City, and Liverpool, and then you've got Villa, Villa's form this season at home is insane. Then you've got Newcastle there. You've got Brighton as well, and then you've got United. We've got an uphill task to finish in top four this year, simply because of the quality of the teams that exist at the top of the Premier League now. So for us to get top four, not only do we have to improve our own form, we're going to have to hope that Liverpool, City, Arsenal, or Spurs, or any 2 of them, or 3 of them, that their seasons sort of crumble. Not crumble, but start to wobble massively. So we've got a serious uphill task. But look, oh dear, press the wrong button there. Close that window. I just hope that this concept really comes into play, and that Ten Hag is taken away. He does have his powers reduced, and he can just focus on being a manager, man. That's what I want. That's what I've wanted for a long ass time. Let me see what you're saying down here. Sue, you're saying be lucky to finish 6th. We can come 5th and qualify for is that the Champions League this year? I don't know. As it stands, I wouldn't back us to finish in the top 4. Of course, things can change, but United, it feels like we've kind of got to try and split this season in 2. We've just got to be in like self-preservation mode between now and January. Hope that we keep ourselves in the running. Hope by that point that Luke Shaw is back, that Martinez comes back, that we might be able to sign a centre-back. And all of a sudden, imagine that. If Manchester United can keep ourselves somewhere, even in the region of where we are now, 8 points off the top 4. If we can make it to January at that point, and then you bring Martinez back in, then you bring Luke Shaw back in, then you sign a centre-back, and then all of a sudden, the second half of this season, you can look at something very, very different to the start of this season. I think so anyway. Sell Sancho. Don't know who else. You can't expect too much to happen in January transfer window, but you can definitely expect us to sign a centre-back, I would say, and sell Sancho or loan Sancho. Who knows? I think that's probably how Ten Hag is looking at it. Let's just try and get through the first half of this season. This season now is not going to be a season where we can truly progress from last season, right? It's not that the season's over, but I would say the ambitions of Manchester United now going into this season, I don't think that's likely. Ben, you're saying bring Neto in midfield. Ooh. Sancho out and Neto in would be incredible. Get rid of Anthony as well. Look, there's something I want to quickly speak about here before we move on to. I'm going to run through the tier list because I really want to get your community input on this. Marcus Rashford. He's had an absolute poopy stinker of a season so far. All right. That's no other way to describe it. He has been bad. And last night, you're seeing this come out from the Telegraph, from James Ducker as well. Marcus Rashford parties in nightclub after Manchester United's derby defeat. That's the headline. The subtitle. Rashford was with friends in a private area, but reported for training on time on Monday. Footballers have lives, people. Okay? And I know at this point in time, anything is going to kind of trigger people around Rashford. That's exactly why that article was released. It's literally Rashford's birthday today. I'm pretty sure it was his brother's birthday as well over the weekend. It's like, come on, man. Come on. Don't get sucked into it, peeps. You're allowed to celebrate your birthday. You turned up for work on time. Doubt he had a drop of alcohol. Come on, peeps. All right. It's just bad timing. Man United could have beaten City's 5-1 and he still would have gone there. It's I know that people look for problems. Like if you live in the Daily Mail comment section, you'd have an absolute field day on that bad boy. Yeah, that reeks. I'm surprised that James Ducker did that. I'll be totally honest. That feels like something that belongs in the Sun or the Daily Star instead of there. That's all I want to say on that one. I don't really think it deserves any more scrutiny or attention. Now, the last 15, 20 minutes of the show, I'm going to enjoy this one. Well, I'm probably not going to enjoy it because I'm not going to enjoy what the list is at the end of it. But what I want to do is run through the signings that Erik Ten Hag has made. Now you can see there's 5 different tiers, 6 different tiers. Good math, Sam. S, A, B, C, D, and F. I don't know why F is green and S is red. That annoys me, but it doesn't really matter. I'm going to run through each transfer, including all the loan signings we made. 15 signings that Ten Hag has made overall, and a lot of them have been on loan or emergency loans. So we're going to rank them, and we're going to start with Lisandro Martinez, okay? What letter? So what I'd like you to do is just type a letter in and leave a comment, and I'll be able to see from Facebook and on YouTube just which letter's popping up the most. And then I'm going to leave all this, and then I'm going to do this on my own after for the lunchtime video. Where would you say Lisandro Martinez goes? Right? I'm going to put him in B there just so you can see that we're talking about Martinez. Josh, you're saying S. Jonah, you're saying A. Spence, S. Pablo, S. Cribs, S. Almac, you're saying C. Peter, you're saying S. Got quite a few A's. A minus. I didn't say there's no minuses in here. Lots of S's, lots of A's. I'm probably going to go for that. There's probably a few more A's than there is S's. Man, Lisandro Martinez, probably the best signing that we've made. I think definitely the best signing that we've made. Anyway, you as a community, you're putting him in A. C because he's injured. What's that got to do with it, Al? I'm not asking whether they're injured or not. I'm saying the quality of the signing. What on earth? What's the injury got to do with whether they're a good signing or not? Anyway, Christian Eriksen. Where would you put Christian Eriksen? All right. Christian Eriksen, I think, has been a pretty fantastic free signing, certainly in his first season. Remember when we thought we were going to sign De Jong? Anyway, where would you be putting Christian Eriksen? Let's go down here. Lots of you type Nick and Klein, you're going C. Rob, you're going C. Carl, you're going A. Daniel, you're going A. Vish and Chris, you're both going B. B's and C's all over the shop in here. Quite a few A's as well. I reckon we're looking probably Christian Eriksen down as a B. Right, we're going Eriksen down as a B. Right, next up on the list, we've got Tyrell Malacia. Tyrell Malacia, I remember when we signed him, what was it, like 12, 15 mil? Thinking we need to be making more signings like this. Definitely need to be making more signings like Malacia. Thought he was impressive as a Luke Shaw backup, and then he dipped a little bit. I'm a little bit unsure of the long-term future of Malacia at the club. But given that we signed him for the price we signed him, it's not going to be a massive loss. I think he's actually been an okay signing. Go down here. Right. Rob, you're saying C. Emir, you're saying C. Ayodeji, Lone Wolf, and Howard, you're all saying C. Manuel, Michael, De King, and Lisa, you're saying D's. Lots of D's and C's up in here. I think we're probably going to go Malacia as a C then. Right. Casemiro. Do you think we should be factoring in price into this? Or just, no, I don't think, let's not complicate it. Let's just say, what tier would you can do it in your own head, like if you think that Casemiro was a less of a signing because we paid 70 million for him, what tier would you put Casemiro down as a signing? I'll go read your answers down here. We've got Nick, Sue, Simon, you're all saying B. Daniel, we've got Pablo, Mariba, Diego, Emir, Brian, you're all saying A. Chris, you're saying A. Lots and lots of B's. Quite a few C's, actually, which I think is really harsh. I'll be honest. C, whoa, this one's tight. This one's tough. I think we're probably looking at a B. That's what I think we're looking at. Roughly, there's quite a few of you that are saying A. There's probably just a few more of you that are saying B. I'm going to put them down on the B list. As I said, this is a community vote. I'm going to do mine after, and you can see it at lunchtime. Next up, we've got Anthony. Well, this will be an interesting one. Anthony, of course, we signed for 85. Was it 85 million? I think Anthony is going to be held up as the example of why a manager shouldn't have full power over transfers. Because I think Anthony was the best player that Ten Hag knew, but he wasn't the best player for that role. I think that's the problem. And see what you're saying down here in the comments. Jacob, you're going Anthony B. Same level as Casemiro and Eriksen. That's strong. The King, Vishal, Carl, Rob, Amu. You're all saying D's. Lyle, you're saying F. So's Mikappa and Neo. Almat, you're saying F. Johnny, you're saying F. What we're saying down there. I think majority of you, are saying Anthony into the D. It's an interesting one. Now, Dubravka, can I just do this for you? He's definitely going in the F category. He made, what was it? Did he get taken off at halftime as well? I can't remember. Did Jack Butland come on because he got injured? I think Dubravka played like 45 minutes for United, something like that. And then he just went back to Newcastle. That is absolutely horrendous. And it's not that he was a terrible signing, but I'm pretty sure he played like 45 minutes and he was woeful. Something like that. It's like 45 minutes or even like 90 minutes. Can't remember. By the way, Dubravka is just a bit of a... he can stay down there. I did that for you. I didn't waste your time. What about Sabitzer? Sabitzer, isn't it? Sabitzer is somebody who came in and we were like, yeah, man, he looks like he's going to be... Jarvis saying why rate loans? Because what do you mean why rate loans? Those players were signed, play for what? So I'm just not gonna rate Weghorst apart from the fact that he played for us for 5 months. Loans are signings, and they're a big part of Manchester United signings because, well, spoiler alert, we're skint. Let me see what you're saying about Sabitzer down here. Sabitzer, we're getting Nigel, Darren, Paula, D. You're all going for a C. Howard, you're going for a D with Ali. I can see down here. Look at that pun. Majority of you are all kind of agreeing on that one. Sabitzer's going into the C's. He was all right. I think if Sabitzer hadn't got injuries, there is a chance that he could be a United player now. Unfortunate for him, really. What about Weghorst? Got Weghorst next. Wout Weghorst. I don't know why. He just puts a smile on my face. And I don't know why. Because he was largely bad. But do you remember that goal he scored in front of the Stretford? And he's like, I thought he was going to burst into tears. Weghorst at least had the work rate. Do you remember that celebration after we won the League Cup as well? Just like bombing it down the pitch. Didn't he bang in a penalty in the against Brighton in the FA Cup semi as well? I like Weghorst, but it's not my choice here. It's not my choice. It's your choice. Let me see him down there. Weghorst is getting lots of D's down there. Steph's giving him an A. Al, you're giving him a C. Sam's giving him a D. Lots of D's, lots of C's. See what's... I reckon D. D is what you're saying roughly. So you're going the same level as Anthony. Ooh, it's unfair for him. Right. And now we go to the signings that we've made this season. And, of course, the loan signings and the emergency. Oh, don't do loan signings. All right, cool. Anyway, Mason Mount. Where are you putting Mason Mount as it stands? 60 million. I think it's the price tag again. If Anthony was signed for 40 million instead of 85 million, then it might be a little bit less for everybody in terms of, well, the scrutiny that he gets and Mason Mount because we paid 60. I'm interested to know where you would put Mason Mount. Let's have a look down here. Quite a few C's coming in. Howard, Anthony, Sue, Danny G, Matt Stan, you're all going C's. Dean C, you're going for an F. Well, that's just that's interesting. Tiger Tails, you're going for a D. Williams going for an F. Huge F. Man, there's a few Fs down here. Damn. You lot are harsh. Jeez. I'll be honest, judging by... If I'm going to go for the mean down there, you're probably going to go Mason Mount towards a C. This is the community one. As I said, this is what you're saying, not me. Andre Onana. Where are you going to put Andre Onana? I said it would be a transformative signing. I have real confidence that I will be proven correct on that in the goodness of time. But I didn't expect him to be the sort of... I didn't expect him to have a shakier start. I like to think that, well, certainly that performance against City and Copenhagen, I think both of those, I hope are going to be a new Onana that got their heads forward. Let me see what you're saying down here. Lee, you're going for a B. Chris and Carl, you're going for an A. Oh, Jesus, there's a few A's down there. Peter, you're going for a B. Paul is going for a B. Leela's going for a B. Anthony with a C. I'll be honest, roughly down there. If I'm looking at majority, I'm going to say roughly you're putting him down as a C. That was a B. Interesting, Sam. So you're putting Onana on the same level as Eriksen and Casemiro. Okay, what about Rasmus Højlund then? Rasmus Højlund's next. Where are you going to put Rasmus? Yes, we overpaid for Rasmus, but I'm excited by him. I think he looks like a really good prospect. He's definitely raw. You know, Roy Keane was saying if he was street smart, he wouldn't have lifted his leg over Edison. He would have just let his foot just catch him and he would have got a penalty. And he was completely right. He definitely would have got a penalty for that. And maybe that's just him being street smart or not being street smart. Let me see what you're saying down here about him. Right. So I'll tell you, we've got quite a few A's down here. Quite a few B's. Got Anthony, you're giving him a B. Al, you're giving him a B. Paul, Zach, Brian, Shen, Pablo, you're all giving him A's. I'll be honest. Again, this is what the community is saying. You're putting Højlund down as an A signing. Maybe that's because you're saying that type of signing, you know that in a few years' time that his quality is going to be going up and up and up. And that's why you like the signing of him. But I was going down here. A lot of you are saying A. Johnny Evans? Johnny Evans? Hey, look, Johnny Evans has had some good games this season, but that just... The fact that Johnny Evans was playing in the Manchester derby 12 years on from when he got sent off and we lost 6-1, it just made you sort of just sit there and just like scratch your head like, is this some sort of sick, twisted dream? I don't know. Let me see what you're saying about Johnny Evans. Michael, miraculously a B. Amy, Mikappa, Al, Tiger Tails, Brian, Klein. I'll be honest. Yeah, the overwhelming majority of you are putting him in the C category. That was quite an easy one. So you're actually putting him on the same level as Mason Mount as it stands. That's interesting. What about Altay Bayindir? I don't know how you can rank him in any way, shape, or form because he's not kicked the ball yet. Is tomorrow the time where we get to see Bayindir play? Or given how Onana's finally hit a bit of form, and given the fact that Ten Hag needs wins, and certainly after the derby, then it's probably unlikely you'll see Bayindir when you think about it. I don't know how... You can't really rank someone who's not played, can you? I think so. I mean, how are you supposed to rank him? I'll be honest, I don't think I can put him in anywhere. You can't rank a player that hasn't played. So we'll leave him there for the time being, I think. Anyway. Sergio Reguilon. What do you think? Who was it we were going to sign? We were going to sign Cucurella. And then he played in a League Cup game. And then he couldn't join. And then we signed Reguilon. I'll be honest. I think he's been pretty decent since he signed. I think we've missed not having him because we've missed not having Malacia, because we've missed not having Shaw, because we've had no bloody left back this season. Let me see what you're saying down there. Dan, you're going for a B. Rob, you're going for a B. Amrabat, you're going for an A. Jeez. Oh, Amrabat. I haven't mentioned Amrabat yet. B for Leela. We've got C, A, B, B, but he can't defend. Oh, yeah, brilliant. Here's a defender who can't defend. Isn't he great? Majority of you down there, again, going by the majority, you're going for Reguilon as a B. Right, okay. Well, the final one to do then is Amrabat. And again, you know what I've always thought about Amrabat, and I was so excited to see him being signed. I didn't expect Manchester United to be as garbage as we were when he came in. I thought he was going to come in and improve a team that was already doing semi all right. But I mean, they can't really be people that think that, right? Has never had one good game. Did anybody see what happened to Man United against City when Amrabat went off? I think he's the sort of player who does a lot of stuff that you might just not remember in a game. But when you don't have him in there, my word. Right, let's see what it's saying down here. Ivan, Gunn, you're saying B's. Robbie, you're saying B. Lots of you saying B. Quite a few C's as well. A couple of A's. I don't think we can go anywhere near an A yet. As much as I would like to, I don't think we can go anywhere near. It's somewhere between a B and a C. I would say probably a B is what you're saying, roughly. So that right there, let's zoom in on that a little bit. That right there is the community. We don't need that on the side. There you go. That is the community rankings for Ten Hag signings so far. Nobody on the top tier list. Martinez and Højlund as two of the best signings. But you know, if you were to take, I don't know, if you were to have like a takeaway opinion on that, what would it be? Because I think that right there goes to show you why Manchester United are struggling. why Ten Hag is struggling. Yes, I know that the injuries have played a major, major problem and a major role in what's gone on. But when it comes to, I'm going to do I've got a really good video planned for tomorrow. This will be tomorrow's video because today I'm going to be doing this. When it comes to the success of a manager in the Premier League and coming into a club, I would say it's based on two things. Number one, the quality of the manager, right? Their principles, their tactics, their man motivational skills, their man management skills, all these stuff. What makes a manager a good manager? And the second most important thing as to whether or not a manager succeeds is how successful you are in the transfer market. You've seen it at every club. Liverpool is the one the example that will always jump out in my mind when they signed Van Dijk and then they signed Alisson. And all of a sudden, the team that had holes in it was just completed because you put the perfect player in that hole. That's what Man United need significantly more of those players to be on the A list. A couple of them to be up towards the S list. What would you give? There you go. Let's try and do an overall ranking. An overall ranking of Manchester United's transfers under Erik Ten Hag. You can put them in one of those lists. A, S to F. Where would you put that? Now, I want to reiterate here that there's going to be people that are blaming Ten Hag for this, but Ten Hag is working in his own with what he's got. When you don't have the people who are doing their job, then of course you're going to be looking towards the players that you know and you understand. I can't blame him for that. He's made some mistakes. Yeah, he absolutely has. But that's him working in the environment that he has at his office, at his work. Let me see what you're saying down here. Overall D, we've got a couple of Bs, Cs and Bs. I'll be honest, I think I agree with the overwhelming majority of you down here. If I was to rank Manchester United's transfer activity, I would go for like a C. I would go for a middler. For a bet middler. And look, the fact that how many of these are on loan? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I missed. That 5 on loan? We've got 15 signings. 5 have been on loan. 1 was an emergency free signing in Johnny Evans. 1 was an actual free signing in Christian Eriksen. So that's like 7. Was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 15 have been loans or free transfers. It's bad, isn't it? I'm laughing, but you know what I do when I laugh. Anyway, I'm going to be doing my tier list at lunchtime today. It's going to be a nice little short 10-minute video. You know what I do with these lunchtime videos, make them short and snappy. I appreciate that not everybody has got the time to join in these live shows, but that was good. I enjoyed that. And that's what you think. You think the best signings are Martinez and Højlund. Casemiro on the same level as Eriksen, Onana, Regular, and Amrabat. Anthony and Weghorst down there, and Dubravka. He's not even a Man United player, really, was he? But look, thank you all for tuning in today. That was a slightly less horrendous show than yesterday, I think we can call it. Couldn't have got any worse than yesterday. But yeah, win, lose, or draw, we'll be here. I'll be here tomorrow. Tomorrow is the Newcastle game, although Gary Neville tried to say that he was working on Sky tonight. He got that completely wrong. I think he's deleted his tweet now. But look, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all your comments there. I enjoyed that bit. And I'll see you later on today and tomorrow morning for the live show.